All right, stop it. Hi, everyone. I think my stream just died for a second there. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. It was kind of weird. How's it going? How's everyone doing? Oh, exciting day. We're gonna have fun. I got buttons to play with. I got some candles set up. They're not real candles. Why isn't this one? Okay, better. Yeah. Don't worry about it. I got a book called Serial Killer Trivia we can go over. Because this stream, if you can't tell by the title, is about serial killers. It's about some pretty terrible people that just murder everybody and things and burn blight on society. Or so on and so forth. I don't know. It's going to be great. If you have people you want me to go over, I know someone else already did it in the comments of a different thing, tell me. I got some set up. I got a list. I got some recent-ish ones. I got some older ones that people ignore. They're just like fascinating. And they really shouldn't be ignored, I personally think, when it comes to the discussion of serial killers. But yeah, anyway, let me go through these comments real quick. Say hi to everybody. It's gonna be a few minutes before we really get into things. So if you're watching this, well, I guess now or after the fact, if you're watching after the fact, you can just skip forward or not. I mean, stick around. It's whatever. It's fine. But the first 5-10 minutes of my streams are always me just saying hi to everybody, letting people get in here, you know? At the bottom we see right there is a donation goal situation. It is 300. Last stream we said if I got $300 donated this stream, if you guys are generous enough for that, I will rent a tuba and figure out how to play songs on it. I think the idea was to follow Glenn Serbio around with a tuba. That's unlikely to happen. It's very tempting. But yeah. So that was, I think someone already donated a little bit to it. So we'll just deduct, if we get close, it'll happen. But yeah, that's what this is. So yeah, how's everyone doing? How's it going? How's it? Nope. Okay, anyway, got a phone call real quick. Yeah. No, Lindsay, 300 to rent a tuba and then like learn how to play it. No, I wish I could get a tuba for 300. That'd be a lot of fun. Cameo, thank you. Let's see if the rent a tuba thing goes up at all. Oh, also, wait for it. It's not doing anything. That's okay. We'll figure that out. We see dropping in there. I have a little cup, and it's not supposed to drop anything in there unless it's $15. Because if it's $15 or more, I put a little of my apple juice in, and the stream gets more interesting. See Carl go, yes, there was a Family Guy scene. Stop it, I have a glandular problem. I think that was the idea behind it. So yes, a tuba or sousaphone, probably tuba. I do love me a sousaphone. If I was following someone around, it'd be a sousaphone. Sousaphones they look like so much fun. But yeah, Rainey's doing great. She's doing fine. She's just busy. She's taking care of things that need to be taken care of. But yeah. Get enough to buy a tuba. I hope so. So let me check to see why it says the current amount isn't working. Why does it say 0? I was so excited about it. Don't mind me. Oh. Interesting. Don't know why. Don't know why he's doing that. Hey, it's all right if you don't want to donate. It's not a problem. Will I talk about Kemper? We certainly could. Let's see. Edwin Kemper. Yes, the co-ed killer, right? Feels right. Let's go with that one. Griff Guy, thank you so much. We need a photo of you behind Glenn Serbio with the tuba. And hold on, that's about to hit.
see if it works. Wait.
Our Lord and Savior Taser Daddy. P-Buzz.
Perfect. Is the counter going up for you guys? Hold on. We're about to check this real quick. What song would I? What song indeed? What are we thinking? What are we feeling?
Check this real quick.
What song would I? What
that's
song
me.
in? No, it still says 0. That's fine. It's fine. Still at 0. I wonder why. That jerk. It's fine. I never tried it before. Well, you know. Figuring it out. Figuring it out. Yeah. Meh. Flight of the Bumblebees, yeah. Okay. Well, oh, geez, so what was that? Oh, I see. Well, we'll figure it out. It's fine. Yeah, well. It's all right. It's fine. Louis, I could probably play Louis. And yes, I mean, why not? All right, wait. Member goal, the jar, chat, subscription goal, follow goal, donation goal, donation goal, right? Emote wall. There's so many things I can choose from. I don't know what any of them are. Stream boss. Nope, don't know. It's fine. Some interesting things here. But I want to figure out what they are.
Our Lord and Savior.
Thank you. Westwell says, do you mean tuba or sousaphone? Anyway, good luck to you. Whatever I can get my hands on, probably. It's probably going to be a tuba, as not the marching one. Anyway, you know, can Kermit sing? It's funny you say that. Hold on. Wait. I don't know. Can Kermit sing it? Anyway, killed a 6-pack just to watch it die. That's good. Yes, Lindsay could. Lindsay, yes. Kermit could sing if I only had a brain. If we put a little bit of apple juice in this bad boy, I think that can be. I mean, we could have Kermit reading about serial killers. But anyway, shall we? That is, read about serial killers. Commentator Auditor, thank you so much for more rum barrel aged imported apple juice. I love it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. You're all great. Anyway, stuck on the stairs. I don't know. Happy face killer or the smiley face killer? I know about smiley face, happy face killer. Oh, Keith Hunter. I don't know anything about this guy, I think. But I digress. Shall we read us some trivia? Yes. Anyway, blue bacon apple juice merch. Remind me. That's yes. Yes. Oh, yeah, the camels don't like the green screen. They're not super excited about it. Oh, this one was I don't know if you guys have seen Mindhunter. Fantastic show. Love it so much. Comfort, are we only talking about the modern ones? No. In fact, after I read you a little passage that I've just randomly flipped to, we will go over an older one, I think. Who is known? Ask the question of, you know what? No, let me fix this. Who is known as the Atlanta child killer, despite not being charged with killing any children? The Wayne Williams case is an intriguing one for true crime buffs. As his characterization, sorry, my mouth doesn't work. It's fine. Don't worry about it. There's no apple juice in me and my mouth is already broken, but let's keep going. The Wayne Williams case is an intriguing one for true crime buffs, as his characterization as the Atlanta child killer barely passes the smell test. Yes. Even renowned FBI profiler John Douglas, who worked on the case in the early 1980s, doesn't believe Williams committed all 23 of the murders attributed to him, though he does maintain that Williams is guilty of some. We have an idea who did some of the others, Douglas wrote in his book, Mindhunter. It's funny that came up, because that's how I know about this thing, because it was in the TV show, which is based on the book. It's not wholly accurate. It's a whole thing. We're not going to worry about it. Hold on. All right. It isn't a single offender, and the truth isn't pleasant, is what Douglas wrote. Yes, BTA killer. We're definitely going to talk about that. Remind me. The Atlanta child murders refers to a series of deaths of young black boys, ages 7 to 17, between 1979 and 1981. Williams became the lead suspect when he was spotted on a bridge in May of 1981, just as there was a splash in the water below. The body of convicted felon Nathaniel Carter, age 27, was found in the river 3 days later. Even though eyewitness testimony suggested Carter was alive days after the splash, Williams was convicted of his murder. At trial, the prosecution offered fiber evidence, linking Williams' vehicle and home to some of the victims, but he was never charged or prosecuted for the murders of any children. Instead, Williams was convicted for Cater's death and for the murder of 21-year-old Jimmy Ray Payne. Atlanta called off the investigation into child murders soon after. Williams was sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms. A declassified Georgia Bureau of Investigation report suggests that another explanation for the child murders is that the Ku Klux Klan was behind them with the intention of starting a race war, which sounds pretty reasonable. Klan members Charles Sanders allegedly bragged that he had murdered one of the young boys on the list. There's a list. After the boy rammed his car with a go-kart. Good. Ram more KKK members with go-karts, I say. It's not a recommendation, that's just an opinion. Still, questions remain in many minds. DeKalb County reopened and then reclosed 4 of the cases in the mid-2000s. And in March 2019, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms announced the city's renewed efforts to identify the child killer once and for all. Williams remains in prison in Georgia. Yes. Anyway, yeah, that's this book. Just got fun little facts about serial killers. Volume of the music is too high. All right, let me fix that, because I don't know. It's distracting, you say. Beep up boop. Let me turn that down. Boom. Yes. Neat. All right. But thank you, Cameo. Andrew Romanovich Chikatilo. I have Ed Gein. Is that the one we mean? Hold on. All right. BTK Killer. Yep. And what was the other? Andrei Romanovich. Stand by, everyone. BTK Killer. All right, before we get into that, though, someone asked for one of the older serial killers. Well, they didn't technically ask, but they said, hey, are we going over them? Yes, we are. And we are going to start I think, how does the Werewolf of... No, that one's actually not that old. 1610. How does Elizabeth Bathory sound? Oh, there's a lot of info on this. Well, I got Bind, Torture, Kill. I got it. All right. 1610, ladies and gentlemen. Bring yourself back to 1610. Yes, that'll work. That'll work nicely. 1610. Ooh, back in time. Elizabeth Bathory was a countess and was a wealthy and powerful Hungarian noblewoman whose relations included an uncle who was king of Poland and a nephew who was prince to Transylvania. Oh. In 1610, she was accused of gruesome acts of serial murder and confined to her home in Castle... It's foreign languages. Where she remained until her death. Bathory is reputed to have killed at least 600 victims, earning her a Guinness World Record for most prolific female murderer. Her actions resulted in a nickname of the Blood Countess. So one of you in the chat is correct. Let me turn on this music a little bit more. Because I can and I want to. There we go. Yeah. All right. Pennsylvania. Blah. All right. She may have been the source of inspiration or a source of inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. However, it's possible Bathory was not guilty of all the crimes that have been laid at her feet. One of the other, of course, inspirations for Dracula is generally believed to be Vlad the Impaler, whose name was actually Dracula, because his father was Dracul, which means dragon, and Dracula is son of the dragon, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, that's the whole thing. Someone's saying Gary Ridgway is still alive. Yes, we can talk about Gary Ridgway. I know all sorts of things about Gary Ridgway, and we'll go over that. Yes. But okay, calm down, y'all. Some of you are already familiar with this lady. Let me keep going. All right. Blah, blah, blah. Childhood, don't care, whatever. At age 11, is considered beautiful and well-educated. It's a little too early, I think, to be considered beautiful. But, okay, she became engaged to Count Ferenc Nadasdy. I'm not going to pronounce this correctly. Don't worry about it. Some accounts of her life include her giving birth to an illegitimate child, fathered by another man. Yes, that's what illegitimate generally means. Before her marriage, by the way. So it must be okay. Probably not. Some of you have played Castlevania before. Anyway, 15-year-old Bathory married Nadasdy on May 8, 1575. The couple's first child was born 10 years later. Bunch of boring stuff not related to murder. By 1585, she had given birth to 5 children. 2 died as infants, with 2 daughters and the son survived. Cool, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. As her husband was a soldier who was often off fighting Ottoman Turks, the couple spent most of their marriage apart. However, he may have schooled her in techniques of torture, something that apparently happens a lot in Transylvania. After Nadasdy died, January 1604, Bathory took control of her extensive estates. I think it's supposed to be his. I didn't write it. It's fine. It's fine. John Coyote is correct. Sex workers are people too. So crimes. Let's get to the crimes of Elizabeth Bathory. Yeah, let's get to her crimes. Doesn't matter. It's fine. It's whatever. She was accused of a haunting litany of crimes against both female servants and minor noblewomen who'd come to her for training and education. Most of her alleged assaults and murders took place after she was widowed in 1604. Some of Bathory's victims were covered with honey and left outside for insects to devour. During colder parts of the year, young women might be stripped naked and forced into deadly ice baths. Bathory sometimes tortured girls by driving needles into their fingers, cutting their... a bunch of cutting. Whipping them, stinging nettles, bite shoulders, other body parts, burning... jeez. Oh, goodness. Oh, there's a lot. Oh, there's... No, thank you. Nope. Cool. Depictions of Bathory often mention her bathing in the blood of virgin victims in an attempt to recapture her lost youth, which I don't believe is how that works. That's fine. However, this depraved action isn't backed up by contemporaneous witness accounts, which otherwise didn't shy away from gore, meaning generally it's probably not true if nobody was talking about it at the time. The first mention of Bathory's blood baths came 100 years after her death, and thus seems to be an invention. She was captured. A bunch of her servants were arrested and questioned, subjected to torture. Servants denied their culpability in the murders, but admitted to burying multiple victims, though the number of the counts varied between 36 and 51. Huh. Yeah, so people were executed. Things weren't great. One witness stated Bathory herself had listed 650 victims in her papers, although the number of victims varied in other testimonials, and the Countess's exact death toll remains unknown. The evidence gathered by Thurso, which is one of the investigators in it, I believe, if I skimmed past that correctly, also included 289 witness statements. Wow. Yeah, not great. Not great. Not great. Anyway. All right. That's Elizabeth Bathory. She's sort of famous for the idea of bathing in the blood of her victims. She was a messed up lady. She was a real messed up lady, but probably didn't actually bathe in the blood. She just enjoyed torturing people. It might have been a sexual thing for her. I don't know. So, who's next, ladies and gentlemen? A lot of BTK. A lot of people sing BTK. Might as well go over that. Wichita, Kansas. Heck yeah. Now this is too much. Too many words. Too many words. We got a lot of people go through. How's everyone doing? Trying to get something that's not like absurdly wrong for all of you. What killers have we covered? Toxigenic. We did Elizabeth Bathory, and we talked a little bit about Williams from Atlanta. Wayne Williams. Dennis Rader. Son of a gun. What a jerk. We could talk about Jack the Ripper. All right. Dennis Lynn Rader was an American serial killer known as BTK, an abbreviation he gave himself for Bind, Torture, Kill. Yes, Wichita and Park City, Kansas. Ooh, sent taunting letters to police newspapers describing the details of his crimes. Not great. After a decade-long hiatus, Rader resumed sending letters in 2004, leading to his 2005 arrest and subsequent guilty plea. He is serving 10 consecutive life sentences at El Dorado Correctional Facility in Prospect Township, Butler County, Kansas. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to start just killing people, don't write letters to the police. Stop it. Get help. Also for the killing, but just a thing. Anyway. Life and background. He's born in 1945, one of 4 sons. Sources gave his place of birth as either Compass, Kansas or Pittsburgh, Kansas. Oh, from a young age, Rader harbored sadistic sexual fantasies. What? Shocking. And about torturing trapped helpless women. There we go. He also exhibited zoo sadism by torturing, killing, and hanging small animals. Something that happens sometimes. Oh, Justin, don't worry. We're getting to that. He acted out sexual fetishes for voyeurism, autoerotic asphyxiation, and cross-dressing. He often spied on female neighbors while dressed in women's clothing, including women's underwear that he had stolen. And I'm not talking about that part. It's fine. You can look it up on your own. This comes from Wikipedia. Years later, during his cooling off periods between murders, Rader would take pictures of himself wearing women's clothing and a female mask while bound. He later admitted that he was pretending to be his victims as part of a sexual fantasy, which is not super uncommon. If you can't live it, sometimes for some people, reenacting it as themselves to experience it is a thing. That's psychology stuff. You don't need to get into. because I'm not an expert in it. I just know a little bit. All right, let's see. Attended high school, received mediocre grades, dropped out after 1 year, and then went into the United States Air Force. Oh, Air Force. Oh, he worked in the meat department. That's okay. Okay. Assembler for the Coleman Company. Great. Yep. Dog catcher in 91. Sure. And compliance officer in Park City. Good for him. He probably didn't do well, right? Oh, no. He became a killer. What? Oh, but before we got to that part, actually, he's a member of the Christ Lutheran Church in Wichita and had been elected president of church council. He's also a Cub Scout leader. Huh. Interesting. On July 26, 2005, after Rader's arrest, his wife was granted an emergency divorce. Shocking. In an interview with ABC News in 2019, Rader's daughter, Carrie, said she still writes to her father and has now forgiven him, but still struggles to reconcile him with BTK killer, stating her childhood seemed normal and they were a normal American family, except for the cross-dressing and the weird Sado weirdness. Emergency divorce, I believe, is just like, hey, I want to skip the normal amount of time it takes to get a divorce. And also he's in jail for murdering a lot of people. So all these hearings and whatnot. That's my guess. Like, do I know for sure? I do not. I've never had a divorce. So not a clue. No. All right, let's go over to the murders. That's what we're here for. It's fine. It's great. January 5th, 1974, 4 members of the Otero family were murdered in Wichita, Kansas. The victims were Joseph Otero, age 38, Julie Otero, age 33, Joseph Otero Jr., age 9, Josephine Otero, age 11. A lot of J's in that. All of them are J's. Oh, that's fine. Their bodies were discovered by the family's 3 older children who had been at school at the time of the killing. How many kids do they? Okay, there are 2 kids, 2 adults, 3 other kids. There's a lot of people. After his 2005 arrest, Rader confessed to killing the Otero family. He wrote a letter that had been stashed inside an engineering book in the Wichita Public Library. Oh, that's kind of fun, right? Like, I'm not sending letters to the police. I'm hiding them to be discovered later. Kind of fun. Kind of like a little terrible, horrible, little the scavenger hunt. Huh. Between the spring of 1974 and 1977, the winter of 1977, Rader killed 3 more women, and he sent a letter to television station KAKE in Wichita, claiming responsibility for the murders of the Oteros, Bright, Vian, Relford, and Fox. So those would be the other 3. He suggested many possible names for himself. He's like, let's give you some cool names, guys. Like, I deserve it. Including the one that stuck, BTK. He demanded media attention in this second letter, and it was finally announced that Wichita did indeed have a serial killer at large. A poem was enclosed titled, "Oh, Death to Nancy," which was a parody of the lyrics to the American folk song, "Oh, Death." I am not familiar with that. Get out of here. In the letter, he claimed to be driven to kill by Factor X, which he characterized as a supernatural element that also motivated Jack the Ripper, the son of Sam of the Hillside Strangler murders. I have my doubts. But, yeah. Well, this officer isn't working. I'm getting rid of it. I intend to kill others, but some people... let's see. All right, so Anna Williams he intended to kill. She escaped death by returning home much later than expected. Rader explained during his confession that he became obsessed with Williams and was absolutely livid when she evaded him. He spent hours waiting at her home, but became impatient and left when she did not return home from visiting friends. Lucky her. Some other people died. He took the dead body to his church, where he was president, and then photographed her body in various bondage positions. He had previously stored black plastic sheets and other material at the church in preparation for the murder, and then later dumped the body in a remote ditch. And he called his plan, because why would you not, Project Cookie. Terrible, horrifying. So some more people were killed. And he was accused, but someone sent a letter saying, no, that's not it. That's not me. Let's see. But they weren't sure if it was. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I'm reading. I haven't read this yet. So 3 people killed. BTK was suspected of it. He sent a letter being like, no. And they're like, but is it really him? And then he convinced that, yes, it was. So this guy, let me tell you. Oh, man. 2 women that Rader stalked in the 1980s and one that he stalked in the mid-1990s filed restraining orders against him. One of them also changed her address to avoid him. Good call. And then he... Investigation of the BTK killer was considered a cold case by 2004. Yep, that checks out. And then he initiated a series of 11 communications to the local media. You fool. In March 2004, the Wichita Eagle received a letter from someone using the name Bill Thomas Killman, BTK. The author of the letter claimed that he had murdered Vicky Wegerle. Don't worry about it. September 16th, 1986, enclosed photographs of the crime scene and a photocopy of her driver's license, which had been stolen at the time of the crime. Before this, it had not been definitively established that Wegerle was killed by BTK. DNA collected from under Wegerle's fingernails provided police with previously unknown evidence. They then began DNA testing hundreds of men in an effort to find the serial killer, although over 1,300 DNA samples were taken and later destroyed by court order. In May 2004, television station KAKE in Wichita received a letter with chapter headings for the BTK story, fake IDs, and a word puzzle. June 9th, the package was found taped to a stop sign at the corner of 1st and Kansas Roads in Wichita. It had graphic descriptions of the Otero murders and a sketch labeled, "The Sexual Thrill Is My Bill." Also enclosed was a chapter list for a proposed book titled The BTK Story, which mimicked a story written in 1999 by Court TV crime writer David Lohr. Chapter 1 was titled A Serial Killer Is Born. In July, a package dropped into the return slot at a public library contained more bizarre material, including the claim that he was responsible for the death of 19-year-old Jake Allen in Argonia, Kansas earlier that month. The claim is false, and the death was ruled a suicide. After his capture, Rader admitted in his interrogation that he had been planning to kill again and had set a date, October 2004, and was stalking his intended victim. In October 2004, a manila envelope was dropped into a UPS box in Wichita. It had many cards with images of terror and bondage of children pasted on them, a poem threatening the life of lead investigator Lieutenant Ken Landwehr, and a false autobiography with many details about Rader's life. Why? Hi guys, let me just give you details about my life. You don't know who I am yet, though. You stupid. Details were later released to the public. And then the police received another package, and the driver's license of Nancy Fox from a different thing. No, it had a doll that was symbolically bound at the hands and feet and had a plastic bag tied over its head, as ya do, you know. More stuff was left, In his letters to police, Rader was asked if his writings, if put on a floppy disk, could be... Oh, I remember hearing about this. This is so... Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let me. Does it deserve this? No. Oh. Nah, we'll just do it with this. We won't do the voice. In his letters to police, Rader asked if his writings, if put on a floppy disk, could be traced or not. The police answered his question in a newspaper ad posted in the Wichita Eagle, saying it would be safe to use the disk. On February 16th, 2005, Rader sent a purple 1.44 megabyte Memorex floppy disk to Fox affiliate KSAS-TV in Wichita. Also enclosed were a letter, a gold-colored necklace with a large medallion, and a photocopy of the cover of Rules of Prey, a novel by John Sanford about a serial killer. Police found metadata embedded in a deleted Microsoft Word document that was, unknown to Rader, still stored on the floppy disk. The metadata contained the words Christ Lutheran Church, and the document was marked as last modified by Dennis. An internet search determined that a Dennis Rader was president of the church council. When investigators drove by Rader's house, a black Jeep Cherokee, the type of vehicle seen in the Home Depot surveillance footage, a place where he left other stuff, etc., was parked outside. This was strong circumstantial evidence against Rader, but they needed more direct evidence to detain him. So they got a warrant, and they got some DNA from his daughter, and were like, that's a familial match to the DNA we already have. Oh, yeah. What an idiot. What an idiot. So. But I digress. Anywho. What's going on in the chat? What's happening? Oh, VO. Thank you for your donation. It says, I want to find, torture, and kill your beard. I'm going to have to pass on that. But thank you. Music's still too loud. Oh, that one I think was, it was loud. First time I've done this, folks. Figuring it out. All right. Boom. But I digress. So what's happening in the chat here? What am I missing out on? What's happening? Stand by, folks. Yes. We might want to consider not talking about how much victims might enjoy being killed. Just a thought. I don't know if that's happening. Someone said it happened, and it's going to stop happening. Okay. Good times. But, all right. So, that's BTK. Well, who do you want next? How are we feeling? How we doing? Hi, guys. How's it going? Green River. I'm saying. Okay. Green River Killer. I don't even have to look anything up. Israel Keys. Oh, Israel Keys. Yeah, let me put that down real quick. All right. Green River Killer, Gary Ridgway, born in 40s, 50s. I don't know. Kind of messed up kid. Not too bright. Had an IQ of like 83. Likeable guy. People didn't dislike him. He just wasn't that smart. Thank you, Bergie. Thank you. But he had his parents kind of weren't great. His mother was kind of abusive. She was real mean to him, and she would berate him quite a bit. She was actually fairly violent. There was an incident where she smashed a plate over the dad's head, and the dad just like walked away. And so Ridgway was like, "Oh, I never want to be in that position where I let a woman control me." One of the facts, so Ridgway isn't that interesting as a killer compared to like BTK. What's really interesting about him is you can sort of track exactly what made his brain the way it is. So there's that. He wet the bed until a later age than normal, and his mother would, be very angry about that, and she would rush him to the tub and scrub him off, and she'd be naked and he'd be naked, and it developed these confusing sexual attractions to his mother, who he also wanted to kill because she was a bad person. So he started at the age where your brain sort of starts to develop sexual attractions, started to develop a sexual attraction with his mother, who he wanted to kill, and so he sort of combined the idea of killing and sex. And then his father worked at a morgue, and he would talk about people having sex with dead bodies because he had a coworker that got caught doing it, I guess. And so he started to sort of fantasize about that. Also, his father was like, prostitutes are the worst. And Ridgway was like, yes, they are. They deserve to be punished. And it all sort of will come together in a second. Anyway, he graduated from high school. He joined the Navy, was deployed to Vietnam, met some prostitutes there, got mad at them for giving him, I don't know, maybe like gonorrhea, something curable. But like he wasn't happy about it. So it really sort of cemented his hate for prostitutes. Came back, got divorced to a woman he got married to right before he left. Married again, started developing really interesting, we'll get to why it's interesting, sexual fantasies. Started taking his wife out sort of into the woods, and part of their sexual activities involved strangling, which she didn't really like that much. They divorced, and Ridgway's like, cool, women are never going to upset me again. And so he did get married again. But that's when he really started killing, where he started picking up prostitutes, taking them out into the woods and strangling them, like in the places where he brought his wife. It was almost like he was practicing. And he may not have realized that, but that's the, oh boy. McDonald Triad, yes, which McDonald Triad is supposedly supposed to tell you someone's going to develop sort of serial killer tendencies, where if at a young age they hurt animals, wet the bed, and are obsessed with fire. Although it's not, evidence shows that it really isn't that good of a predictor. But anyway, so he did sort of do that. Also, when he was young, he stabbed a kid just to see what it felt like. The idea being, we think he was fantasizing about stabbing his mother to see what it would feel like. The kid was like 6 years old. Kid survived, but messed up. Anyway, so he's killing prostitutes in his truck, in the woods, and at his home. Killed, I think, what is he convicted for? He was convicted for a lot. He says that he murdered more. How many Gary Ridgway killed? All right. Convicted of 49, which is the highest anyone's been convicted for. But he confessed to 71, says it might be higher than that. So he just was out there going nuts. And he got caught a few times picking up prostitutes. And he was a main suspect. They gave him a polygraph test, and he passed it. They took his DNA, but DNA technology wasn't good enough. Eventually, I think 2001, DNA technology did get good enough, and they retested it, and they went, oh, God, this is him. Arrested him, and they're like, you're going to die. You're going to get the death penalty. And he went, what if I led you to the bodies, and you just give me life in prison? And they went, okay. I mean, they thought about it for a while. It was not like oh, good idea. It was like, oh, we really want to give closure to the families, but we also want them dead. That families take priority. So he brought them to the areas. A lot of the places had multiple bodies. He liked to put people in the same places because he liked to drive by those areas and know that his women were there. Sometimes he would put rocks up inside of them so no one else could use them because, yes, he came back. He came back to have sex with them until you couldn't have sex with them anymore. So, yes, polygraph is pseudoscientific. Polygraph is not effective for the reasons you think it's effective. The readings are much less important than the reading, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't. Watching someone. Thank you. Thank you, Carlos. Donner Party. Well, Donner Party's not technically serial killers. I feel like I need a little apple juice, though. Don't mind me. Yeah, so, yeah, he was kind of nuts. John Cooey. How much has been donated? I have no idea because the thing isn't working. I can get back to you in the future about it. Gives about 2 days before it actually tells me. But it should be updating. We're going to look into that. We're going to look into why that's not working later. I could do some math, add it all up. 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. I'd say about 65. I think it's been donated. Oh, 68.97. Lilith Rose. Heck yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Perfect. Canadian serial killer. All right. Canadian serial killers. Boom, 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 boom. Hold on. It's making noise at me. There we go. Some epic music while I look. Aaron, thank you. Not serial killer, but take a look at the monster with 21 faces. I remember that vaguely. Russell Williams. That one I'm familiar with, I think. Is that the one they got by his boots? Oh. All right. James Holmes, you say? Anyway, okay, yeah. So interrogation video, yes, that we had that as a training. I think it was an MPI school. Oh, squeaky chair. Hello. Yeah, we use that as a training tool to look for what kind of behaviors. There's a moment where he just puts his head down. That's a big deal in interrogations. When someone does that, it's like that's make or break. That's a really good thing, and you have to be very, very careful not to mess it up because that means you've done it. But you can still mess it up. But yeah, if I remember correctly, they got him on his boots. They found boot prints, and he wore those same boots in. Idiot to the interrogation. Irish Girl, thank you. Well, you just bought yourself some apple juice. There we go. There we go. Stones, serial killer. Okay. There we go. Time to get some more serial killer action. Gotta sell some names. Anyway. Delicious. All right. Let's, I promised someone Gesche Gottfried. Gesche Gottfried's interesting, ladies and gentlemen. A fascinating lady. I'm going to end up kicking this bottle. Once we break 100, we'll have Kermit read one. How's that sound? Sounds great. Oh, good. All right. So, where are we? Gesine Gottfried, also known as Gesche Gottfried, was born into a poor family in Bremen. This would have been what date? 1785. Born in 1785. Sylvie, good question. I'm going to actually pause because it's a great question. To be a serial killer, I think it needs to be 3. And it has to be over a separate time periods. So it's not like 3 at one time. It's, kill this person, then the next day, kill that person, a week later, kill that person, that kind of thing. 3 distinct acts, not sprang into a crowd with a machine gun, but 3 distinct killings. I think that's basically the requirements, if I remember correctly. The what, Joshua? The lady that baked people into her cookies and cakes? I don't know. Jassa, mass murder, I think, is a single event, is the idea. Where you kill a bunch of people at once. And yes, it can be over a period of time. I think that's the distinction. I'm not entirely sure. Not 100%. But let's keep going about Gesche Gottfried. All right. Whoa. Didn't mean to hit that. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, she was poor. Her parents were a seamstress and tailor. She wasn't really liked by her parents as much as they liked her brother. But it's cool, it's fine. Her father was like, marry as soon as you can, or marry as soon as you can. That's German accent. I had mustaches. I think I left them elsewhere. That's all right. Unless we want mustaches. At age 21, she did marry. She married Johann Mittenberg, who made a living as a saddler in Bremen. They had 3 children together. Things changed with Johann's father's died, and they inherited some money. But Johann's Johann's behavior changed, and he began drinking and gambling. In 1813, he told Gesche that they were destitute, and all the money was spent. A couple months later, after a suspicious period of stomach pain, he died. Interesting. Now, a few months later, she met Michael Christoph Gottfried, a relatively rich wine merchant. How convenient. Delicious. Good apple juice. All right. Gesha's mother, Gesha Tim, died following stomach pain in May 1815. What a weird coincidence. Huh. Both of them dying of stomach pain. Her own daughters then died, and the scope of victims widened. Coincidentally, lucky her, a cholera epidemic hit Germany around 1815. You know what I realized? We're not, we don't got any of that going on. And helped to obscure her crimes. Moreover, Gesha helped greatly in the town during the epidemic, gaining the nickname the Angel of Bread. Hilarious. In 1826, she sold her house to Johann and Wilhelmina Rumpf, and they asked her to stay on as a housekeeper. This led to Wilhelmina's death. A maid left saying that illness and death followed Gesha. Johann Rumpf became ill, but was now suspicious. He analyzed his food and found specks of white powder, which he took to local chemist Dr. Luce. He decided it was arsenic and notified authorities. Gesha found out and fled to Hanover, where she started killing again, starting with a Mrs. Schmidt and her daughter, who died in May 1827. What? In July, Frederick Klein was also killed. This audio might be a little loud. Let's try that. But I digress. She was captured by authorities on March 16th, 1828, on her 43rd birthday. Happy birthday to you. She confessed to killing 15 people and to trying to kill many more. Now, it does not know why she's killing people, but the theory is that it is Munchausen syndrome by proxy, which is basically in this case, it would be she did it to help people, to get the feeling of being liked by the community for being so helpful. Like, oh, you have stomach pains? Oh, I'll help you. What a good person. Everyone, they're calling me an angel. Yay. That's the sort of the general idea of why they think she might have killed. But yeah. But that's her. Yep. She did that. Oh, she used a rat poison called mouse butter, by the way. In German, it's Mausbutter. Very common at the time. Huh. When people started to get sick, she friendly, selfless, and resignedly offered to take care of them during their convalescence while continuing to poison them. So yeah, they think that she was just like, I just like people liking me for helping kill people. Reminds me of Arsenic and Old Lace. What happened to him? He died. Anyone familiar? It's fine. All right, that's her. Next, what we got? Oh, we are so close to Kermit reading one of these. We're so close. He's hanging out right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hello. I'm just hanging out, waiting to be a part of this, I guess. He did go to Panama, yes. Somebody knows. Yay! Ah!
Anyway. Oh, Kermit. James. Thank you. Bring on Kermit and the apple juice. Oh, H.H. Holmes is truly terrifying. All right. More apple juice it is. And Kermit. All right. Let's give... All right, who do we want for? Edward. Oh, Edward Ruloff is a fun one. All right, he's actually not that fun. It's the second, sort of the end. Do we want Kermit to do H.H. Holmes? Suppose we could have Kermit do H.H. Holmes. I suppose. Let me see how long this one is. I can do... Okay. Yeah, Kermit will do H.H. Holmes. All right.
Alright, so I'm going to be talking about H.H. Holmes, an American serial killer. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna have a little sip there, eh?
I am gonna have a sip.
Pull yourself together, man. Oh, alcoholic. Alright. I mean, juiceaholic. Anyway. Alright. I don't need to get my notes together here. Just. Alright. In 1861, Herman Webster Mudgett. Sound. Name a Muppet then. Was born in New Hampshire. It is said that at an early age he was fascinated with skeletons and soon became obsessed with death. That's right, death. Can we get some music going? Not that music. Alright, yeah, that'll work. Okay. Alright. Where was I? Here we go. It may have been after this interest that led him to pursue medicine. After graduating high school at 16, Mudgett changed his name to Henry Howard Holmes, or H.H. Holmes, of course, and later in life would be known as, I just said that, H.H. Holmes, yes. Holmes studied medicine at a small school in Vermont before being accepted into the University of Michigan Medical School. While enrolled in medical school, Holmes stole cadavers. Yeah, that seems like gross, kind of, really check me. Yeah, cadavers. Okay. From the laboratory, burned or disfigured. Really? Okay, that's fine. Burned or disfigured them and then planted the bodies, making it look as if they had been killed in an accident. You think they would be like, where are our cadavers? Oh, here they are, in an accident. How'd they get there? It's the craziest thing. Let's see. The scandal behind it was that Holmes would take out insurance policies on these people before planting the okay, that makes sense. Before planting the bodies and would collect money once the bodies were discovered. So he was faking some deaths with cadavers. Okay. I guess it's, it makes sense. I've done weird things than that for money. My name's Piggy. Just not really this Piggy. It's just a pig. What, they all look the same to you? Crazy? Anyway.
You good?
Oh, you're sure. Right. In 1884, Holmes passed his medical exams, and in 1885, he moved to Chicago, where he got a job working at a pharmacy under the alias Dr. Henry H. Holmes. H. Cool Whip. Anyway, when the owner of the drugstore passed away, he left his wife to take over the responsibilities of the store. However, Holmes convinced the widow to let him buy the store. The widow soon went missing. I wonder where she went. Is she over here? No? Okay. Shocking. So she went missing and was never seen again. Holmes claims that she moved off to California. Now, this could never be verified. It helps that it was like 1884, Anyway. You need a check? Oh, hold on, folks. He's getting his apple juice on. After Holmes had become the owner of the drugstore, he purchased an empty lot across the street. He got lost in what he's saying. I'm wrong, my reading's not so good. Look at these eyes. You think I can read well? No? You ever see the glasses they'd have to design for me? My goodness. Alright, he purchased an empty lot across the street. He designed and built a three-story hotel. It's called a spoonerism, folks. Anyway, pull myself together. You good?
I'm good.
Alright, where were we? Alright, so he designed and built a three-story hotel, which the neighborhood called the Castle. We got a donation here. Raj, thank you so much. It says, there ain't nothing wrong with California except for a bunch of crazy people. Hey, bingo. You nailed it, man. Good to see you too. Thank you. Excuse me. All right, neighborhood called the Castle, and during its 1889 construction, Holmes hired and fired several construction crews so that no one had a clear idea of what he was doing. He's a smart man. Good, well done. Because, he was designing a murder castle. I want to. You think it said murder castle on the plans? I really hope not. Anyway, mind your own business about whether or not I'm drunk, you crazies. I hear you. Alright, here, where were we? Alright. After construction was complete in 1891, Holmes placed ads in newspapers offering jobs for young women. Aren't we all? And advertised the castle as the place of lodging. He also placed ads presenting himself as a wealthy man looking for a wife. So, okay. I can't really be that upset with, Tinder being a thing. Anyway, Lindsay, alright, hold on, Lindsay. Balsamic vinegar. Here we go. Anyway, where was I? Yes. All of Holmes' employees, hotel guests, fiancés, and wives were required to have life insurance policies. Interesting. Holmes paid the premiums as long as they listed him as the beneficiary. Most of his fiancés and wives would suddenly disappear. So no one paid. You'd think someone would notice, but I don't know how Kermit would. How would he do that? Never mind. Doesn't matter. As did many of his employees and guests. People in the neighborhood eventually reported that they saw many women enter the castle, but would never see them exit. Interesting. Yeah, that seems like pretty obvious crime activity here.
Excuse me. Sorry. Don't mind me, folks. You good, Kermit?
I'm just done here.
Okay, great. There he is.
Thank you, James. Says H.H. Holmes. If you like pina coladas and getting killed, if you like pina coladas and getting murdered in my hotel. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes. So, in 1893, Chicago was given the honor of hosting the World's Fair, a cultural and social event to celebrate the 400th anniversary of Columbus's discovery of... that's for... it's to celebrate Columbus's discovery of America, the jerk. Anyway, Columbus is not a great guy. Yeah, either, talking about H.H. Holmes is appropriate. The event was scheduled from May to October and attracted millions of people from all over the world, and when Holmes heard that the World Fair was coming to Chicago, he looked at it as an opportunity. Good smart man, good businessman. He knew many visitors would be searching for lodging near the fair and believed many of them would be women whom he could easily seduce into staying at his hotel. After being lured into the hotel, many of these out-of-town visitors would never be seen again. Wow. Shocking. Anyway, moving on here. The first floor of the castle had several stores. The two upper levels contained... Contained Holmes' office and over 100 rooms that were used as living quarters. Some of these rooms were soundproof and contained gas lines so that Holmes could asphyxiate his guests whenever he felt like it. I'm feeling kind of bored. Just gonna help some people, I guess. Around the building, there were trapdoors, peepholes, stairways that led to nowhere, and chutes that led to the basement. The basement was designed as Holmes' own lab. It had a dissecting table, stretching, right? My gosh. Alright. Stretching rack. Where was that? Hold on. Lost my place here. I was thinking about Gonzo in Never Treasure Island. Let's see. And a crematory. Crematory. Sometimes he would send the bodies down the chute, dissect them, strip them of the flesh, and sell them as human skeleton models to medical schools. Who didn't question it? I guess, okay. In other cases, he would choose to cremate or place the bodies into pits of acid. That will do it. Yeah, I guess. Alright. Anyway. Through it all, Holmes traveled throughout the U.S. committing insurance scams with his accomplice, Benjamin Pitezel. Once the World Fair had ended, Chicago's economy was in a slump. Therefore, Holmes abandoned the castle and focused on insurance scams, committing random murders along the way, as one does. You know. During this time, Holmes stole horses from Texas, shipped them to St. Louis, and sold them, making a fortune. He was arrested for this swindle and sent to jail. Okay. I suppose so. While in jail, he concocted a new insurance scam with his cellmate, Marion Hedgepath. Holmes said he would take out an insurance policy for $10,000, fake his own death, $10,000, a lot of money that day, still is, and then provide Hedgepath with $500 in exchange for a lawyer who could help him if any problems arose. Once Holmes was released from jail on bail, he attempted his plan. However, the insurance company was suspicious, shocking, and did not pay him. Holmes decided to attempt a similar plan in Philadelphia. This time, he would have Pitezel fake his own death. However, during the scam, Holmes acts... hold on. During this time... Calm down. Sorry. You should be fine. Drink your drink. Okay. You're good? I'm good. You're not good. You're drinking again. I know. Hold on. Pull yourself together.
Let's work on it.
Amateurs, you working with a goddamn idiot. Anyway, don't worry about me, people. I'm fine. Shut up. I'm ruining it. Alright. Shut up. Anyway, Froggy over here. Anyway, that's the weirdest thing I've ever done. That's probably not true. Anyway, I can't, Lisa. You're tearing me apart, Lisa. Alright, hold on. Where was I? Alright, so he accidentally killed Pitezel and collected money for himself, the idiot. And in 1894, Marion Hedgepath, who was angry that he did not receive any money in the initial scam, told police about the scam. Never trust people. Don't do it. How's it going, U235? Ooh, to you as well. Alright. So the police tracked Holmes, finally catching up to him in Boston, where they arrested him and held him on an outstanding warrant for the Texas horse swindle. At the time of his arrest... Wait. But I thought he already got on his for arrest. It's fine. Here we are. At the time of his arrest, Holmes appeared as if he was appearing to flee the country, and police became suspicious of him. Chicago police investigated Holmes' castle, where they discovered his strange and efficient methods for committing torturous murders. Thank you, Cameo. Oh, if she's laughing, it doesn't matter, does it? Alright, I'm just gonna drink some more now. Thank you, though. Alright, so we have a drinking game, ladies and gentlemen. Yay! The drinking game, according to Irish Girl, is that you gotta take a shot every time Blue Bacon here, or Kermit says murder, but don't die. Don't drink too much, you know. Anyway. Drink responsibly. Where was I? Alright, so yeah, they were like investigating the murder castle. They found that it was a murder castle. They found a lot of bodies, and they're like, oh no, there's a lot of bodies. I just murder. Have fun, folks. The police investigation spread through Chicago, Indianapolis, and Toronto. While conducting their investigation in Toronto, police discovered the bodies of the Pitezel children who had gone missing sometime during Holmes' insurance fraud spree. Not great. He also confessed to 20 other murders. However, through investigations and missing person reports, it is believed that Holmes is responsible for up to 200. So he was hanged, obviously, in 1896, and the castle was remodeled as an attraction and named the Holmes Horror Castle. However, burned to the ground shortly before its opening. Which is a shame, because I would have liked to see it. I would have liked to see it, too. Thank you, Kermit. It's been a pleasure. I'm just going to...
And that That was our adventure with Kermit, ladies and gentlemen. If we hit 200, we'll pull him out again. Yeah, drink every time I say, where was I? See, that feels more appropriate because it's going to happen, but it's not going to kill you. Probably. All right, that's H.H. Holmes, the fascinating guy. There's some good documentaries on that. Who's next? You decide. That's a little joke. Was it arson? Good question. I don't know. Yeah, any of you think that Kermit the Frog will be telling you about serial killers from Chicago? I don't think so. Not today. You wake up and go, today that's going to happen. I doubt it. Cameo, I missed yours. Hold on. The one about your mom saying Kermit shouldn't say that? Well, thank you. And Kermit's going to say it regardless. Anyway. What did you walk into, Inkstball? What indeed? Right? We got John Ed Gein. That's a fun one. Oh, the LaLaurie. Delphine LaLaurie is a fascinating one. All right. Chikatilo. The Butcher of Rostov. The Red Ripper. Do that. I lost my place a lot. The lightweights. All right, we talk about Andrei Chikatilo. In full, Andrei Romanovich Chikatilo by name Rostov Ripper, born in Ukraine. No, he's born in the USSR, which is now Ukraine, which is Russian for Ukraine, by the way. Cecil Hotel Murders. Oh, goodness. I can't do all of them, ladies and gentlemen. Hotel murders, but yes. Well, I mean, we're probably gonna do this a second time at some point. All right, Chikatilo. I don't know if I know about the Chikatilo. All right, born in 1936, Yablachnoye, USSR, now Ukraine. Died in 1994 in Moscow, Russia. Murdered at least 50 people between 1978 and 1990. For this, we need ourselves some music, not that music. That'll work. That'll work. Yeah. All right. His case is noteworthy not only because of his large number of victims, but because efforts by Soviet police to issue warnings to the public during the investigation was hampered by the country's official ideology, which asserted that serial murder was impossible in a communist society. Who would do that? Now, keep in mind, communist society. Russian communist is different than most communists. Just, I had a discussion about that with someone earlier. Anyway, Chikatilo grew up in the aftermath of the Great Ukrainian Famine of the 1930s, during which millions of people died, as they do in famines, and many resorted to cannibalism to survive. Russia has a bit of a history with cannibals, by the way. It's a thing. Social civilian. Will I be your dad? No. I feel like you're trying to trick me into some child support. That's what I think. Besides, I'm already someone's daddy. That was a joke. Oh. Anyway. Oh, that saxophone. All right. So. During his childhood, he was told constantly by his mother that he had an older brother who had been kidnapped and eaten by his neighbors. The story, which cannot be verified, apparently motivated Chikatilo to cannibalize some of his victims. That's blah. Chikatilo was an avid reader with a particular interest in stories that described how German prisoners were tortured by their Soviet captors during World War II. Not a great thing for a kid to read, but okay. Cool. After completing his military service, Chikatilo became a telephone engineer near Rostov-na-Donu, where he married in 1963. In 1971, he received a degree from Rostov Liberal Arts University and became a teacher. He was forced to resign his position, however, after some parents complained of sexual assaults by Chikatilo on their children. Again, yes, boo this man. What? No! Just no! Stop it! Anyway, Chikatilo began his killings in 1978. Preying on young victims whom he met at rail stations and bus depots around Rostov-na-Donu and other cities to which he traveled in his various jobs. Because all the victims displayed characteristic mutilations, the police soon became aware that a serial killer was active in the region. Nevertheless, Chikatilo was able to evade detection for many years, in part because his crimes exploited weaknesses in the decaying society of the Soviet Union. Niet, says Engstball, I agree. Yeah, niet. Niet indeed. Niet is no in Russian, by the way. Strasvutsi, crazy bastard. Alright. Poverty made young people eager to leave their homes for the city, but since they often had no friends or contacts there and little money, they could easily be lured into dangerous situations, and their disappearances would often go unnoticed. In 1984, Chikatilo was arrested by a police officer who witnessed him having his way with a girl at a train station. Although the briefcase he was carrying was found to contain a long knife and other suspicious instruments, police misidentified his blood type, which their tests showed did not match the type indicated by happy male juice. Found at one of the crime scenes. Why am I even bothering? Like, this is already demonetized for sure. Anyway, Chikatilo was subsequently charged with theft of materials from a former employer and sentenced to 1 year in prison, though he was released after 3 months. The fools. After his release, Chikatilo resumed killing, and the subsequent police investigation, which included 24-hour surveillance of bus and train stations in one district, was intensive. Yeah, it's good. At the time of his arrest, he was carrying a briefcase containing items similar to those in his possession when he was detained 6 years earlier. While in custody, Chikatilo confessed, and later he was transported to various crime scenes to demonstrate his methods to police. Convicted of 52 murders and sentenced to death, he was executed in a Moscow prison. Citizen X, a television movie based on Chikatilo's life, was aired in 1995. Yeah, Angstball. I said Happy Juice. I'm like, they're going to get confused, but I really don't want to elaborate. Oh, Goosebump. Your mom took Russian in college. Oh, nice. I took a Russian in college. That's a joke. Look, this is an adult stream. This is not, I mean, obviously, this shouldn't be for kids. So my jokes are a little less tame. Who's next? It's apple juice. Angstball. It's just apple juice. Don't know what you're saying. Don't know what you're talking about. Egg yolk. Richard Kaklinski. Oh, Fred Rose West, yes. How do you guys know so many serial killers? You mean Kuklinski? The Iceman, yes. Fred Rose West. Oh, a couple people, my friend. Fred Rose West, I say. Fred and Rose West. Oh, so much for eating. It's too much for y'all. I think we're at 160. Oh, these people are nuts. All right. Wait, no, these are their victims. I want the story. Tell me the story. Let me get some search music going. No? Ah, yes, Cecil Hotel. Remind me of that. Who else was that? Anthony Soul. All right. Found it. Oh, I would definitely doing this again. This is the kind of stuff I do when I just want a nice chill stream, you know. We just hang out. Kermit's hanging out. He's over there. If we hit 200, he comes back. I'm just saying. If we hit 300, I go and rent a tuba. All right. Wait, hold on. Sorry, it's fine. Almost worked. Oh, stop. It's not that. Stop. Okay, stop it. All right, we've got Frederick and Rosemary West. Fairly inappropriate for killers. Right. This story isn't good either. Why don't you? All right, hold on. We're going back to searching because I thought this was good, but it doesn't give me the beginning. Arash, thank you. All right. Hold on. Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Yes. All right. Rose from Northam, Devon, was considered one of the most wicked women in Britain for the torture and murder of at least 9 women between 1973 and 1987. What? Crazy. Her husband, Frederick Walter Stephen West, who died by suicide in prison while awaiting trial in 1995, maybe for the best, who am I to judge, is believed to have collaborated with her on these crimes. The majority of these murders were committed at the couple's home at number 25 Cromwell Street in Gloucester, which became known as the House of Horror. The House of Horror! Felt better. Anyway. Rose was also convicted for the murder of her 8-year-old stepdaughter. Oh, that's not good. Not great. I don't like that. When she was just a teenager, her parents separated. At the age of 16, she moved in with her father, and her father suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and was prone to extreme violence, repeatedly sexually abused her and her older sister. Not great. Not good at all. Rose was said to be fascinated by her... we're going to skip that. Rose met Fred when she was just 15 years old. He was 12 years her senior. And had 2 young daughters, Charmaine and Anne Marie. Rose's parents disapproved of the relationship. Shocking. She was 15. He was 12 years older. That makes him 27. Quick math. Ha! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! Anyway, math. But she defied, prodding them to visit Gloucestershire Social Services, to explain that their 15-year-old daughter had a sexual relationship with an older man, and that they had heard rumors that she had begun to engage in prostitution at Fred's caravan. Not great. Oh boy. Okay. Rose was put into a home for troubled teenagers, but was released after her 16th birthday. Fred was riding out a 30-day sentence for theft and unpaid fines at the time. However, upon his release, Rose left her parents' home and moved in with him. Huh. Interesting. In 1970, she was found to be pregnant. What year? How old was she in 1970? I don't know. Anyway, 1970, she was found to be pregnant and once again placed in a home. She was released upon the notion she'd have a termination. However, in October the same year, she gave birth to her and Fred's first child, a daughter they named Heather Ann. Huh. Interesting. Ugh. Shortly after, Fred was imprisoned for the theft of car tires and a vehicle tax disc. As he served a 6.5-month sentence, Rose, having just turned 17, looked after the three girls, I'm sure. And Charmaine, with Charmaine and Anna Marie being told to refer to Rose as their mother. According to Anne Marie, she and Charmaine were frequently subjected to physical and emotional abuse throughout the time they lived under Rose's care. Shocking. Who would have seen that coming? It's almost like someone who was abused will abuse people. The surprise of nobody. By 1983, Rose had given birth to 8 children. That's too many children. That's way too many children. For me, personally, it's too many children for me. That's just... Sorry, don't mind me. And at least 3 of whom were conceived by clients, because, prostitution. Fred willingly accepted these children as his own and falsely informed them the reason their skin was darker than that of their siblings was because his great-grandmother was a black woman. Yeah, why not? Hey, she was black, so reasons, I don't know, I don't know. All right. On August 6th, 1992, Fred was arrested after being accused of forcibly entering one of his daughters 3 times. And Rose was arrested for child cruelty. Shocking. This case against them collapsed on 7th of June, 1993, when their daughters refused to testify in court, which is something that happens with domestic cases, like, I guess this. Domestic violence cases, this is not uncommon at all for people to be like, these horrible crimes, but I won't, what will happen if they go to jail? What will happen? Where will I go? Yeah, it's not great. Where was I? All 5 of the West's younger children were removed from their custody to foster homes. Yeah. So some people complain about the foster system. However, yes, there is some abuse that happens in the foster care system. But when you go into the foster care system, it's usually because the abuse is already happening in the home. So it's already being abused versus a possibility. I mean, I know which one makes more sense. I'll let you guys figure it out for yourselves, though. Anyway. All right, all 5 of us young children removed from the custody of foster homes. This case brought to light the disappearance of Heather, who had not been seen since 1987, and triggered the major investigation that followed. So, wow. Yeah, okay, and Rose is found guilty of 10 murders. Where's that? There's just a big old jump to that, huh? Here we go. All right. So here's a timeline. 1941, Fred West is born. 1953, Rosemary Letts is born. November 1958, Fred is injured in a motorcycle accident, in a coma for 7 days, and is said to be prone to violent outbursts after his recovery. Probably some brain damage. In April 1961, Fred's first court appearance occurred, and along with his friend Brian Hill, Fred pleads guilty to stealing a gold watch, trapping 2 cigarette cases. They are both fined. June 1961, Fred arrested on suspicion of child molestation after a 13-year-old local girl was discovered to be pregnant by her GP, that general practitioner? I don't know. It became clear that Fred had had sex with her on several occasions. Gross. Not cool. November 1961, Fred's first trial for sexual abuse. He appeared at Herefordshire. I don't know what these names are. Charged with sexual molestation. The case collapsed when the girl refused to give evidence and Fred walks free. Garbage. November 1965, Fred kills a 4-year-old boy while driving an ice cream van. November 1968, Fred and Rosemary Letts meet on her 15th birthday. November 1969, she moves in with him. October 1970, Rose and Fred's first child, Heather Ann West, is born. They get married January 1972. That's Rose and Fred, not Heather Ann. June 1972, the West's second child is born. And January 1973, they are both convicted of sexual assault of their nanny, who escaped to tell the police. They're issued fines. Excuse me? All right, 94, the Cromwell Street search begins following the disappearance of their daughters. Heather, police are granted a search warrant, begin excavating the West Garden. Oh, that's where the murders come from. Fred confesses to murdering 9 women. He then kills himself, and Rose is found guilty of 10 murders and imprisoned for life. She's still in HM prison, Newhall, Flockton, West Yorkshire, England. and she is said to have had a string of affairs with fellow inmates since being incarcerated. Got it. Well, she's a real winner. Real great. Abuse is bad, folks. Shocking. Don't abuse people. It's bad. The more you know. All right. We had Cecil Hotel. Oh, I know about the Cecil Hotel. That's not serial killer, though. That was that woman who fell into the tank of water or whatever. Fascinating stuff. There's a documentary on Netflix I never finished, but I have to. I got distracted by what was it? Archive 81. Oh, what a show. If you like scary things, it's not too scary, but the atmosphere is just so well constructed. My God. Like, it's not like a jump scare, but it's a very nice sort of slow burn mystery horror show. If you like that kind of thing, Archive 81. I've been loving it. But Robert Pickton, we say. Robert Pickton. I mean, it had serial killers staying there. Sure. Oh, Kemper, of course. Oh yeah, the Canadian. Let's go over who is the other Canadian we were looking at? Was that Russell Williams? Yeah, he was he a major? If some women disappeared, he was investigated. They identified distinct tire tracks approximately 100 meters north of the disappeared woman's home. And police noticed that Major Williams has similar tires. So they, started asking questions. Ottawa Police Service asked some questions. So he was interrogated in police headquarters. William was confronted with the evidence gathered so far, with the interrogation lasting approximately 10 hours, which is not unreasonable for murder. I think the longest I ever did was probably a little over 4 hours. And that wasn't even for anything big. Some of these last really long. Like, hours is not unreasonable. But 10 hours, my goodness. All right, so he began confessing of his crimes. Admitted to dozens of crimes, including the sexual assaults in Tweed. Oh, what a winner. Oh, also break-ins and thefts. And then he identified on a map where the person was. So, yeah, I think was it 2 murders and they suspect him of a third? Yeah, they got him basically because of his boots. Like, he walked in, I think the thing that, like, officially broke him in the interrogation was he's wearing the same boots he wore when he committed the murder. And they're like, yeah, so these are the boots, the boot prints that we have. Oh, gosh, look at those boots you're wearing. Mind if we, yep, looks identical and the size is the same. Yeah, the interrogation, I believe, is on YouTube. Very interesting watch. Very long. There's probably an abbreviated version. I've not seen the full thing. I saw the part where he really started to sort of turn, where the investigator started, really starting to break him. All right. Oh, we got to go for Kemper, of course. To break him, as one does. Stand by. Anyway, yeah. How do you feel about Edmund Kemper? John Wayne Glover. Uh-oh. Comments are being deleted. Huh. That's weird. Huh. I don't know why that happened. Oh, Edmund Kemper. Let's go over Edmund Kemper. He's a fascinating one. Let's do it. Reminder, Ed Gein, of course. If we get to 200, Kermit comes back out. Oh, Cecil was the other one. Oh yeah, someone's shouting something outside my house. They found me. I might be calling a dog. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Edmund Kemper. Let's do it. Did I get swatted? God, I hope not. I'd be a little upset. Just a little bit. All right, Edmund Kemper. $20. Kermit reads one of these. Edmund Kemper, at age 15, killed both of his grandparents to see what it feels like you do. Upon release, he drifted, picking up and releasing female hitchhikers, but he soon stopped letting them go, killing 6 young women in the Santa Cruz, California area in the 1970s. Go Banana Slugs. It's the mascot. Anyway. No, they're not, Bergie. Bergie? I don't know. Angstball, I just heard yelling. It's there's just a like I don't know what they're saying. Anyway. All right. In 1973, he killed his mother and her friend before turning himself in. Oh, man. Okay, sure, yeah. Early life. Kemper was born on December 18th, 1948 in Burbank, California, the middle child of E.E. and Clarnell Kemper. Base face. Oh, base face. All right. Once we're done with Kemper. Thank you, base face. Kermit's reading Ed Gein. It's not enough. Oh boy, that's a lot. All right, well. There we go. Thank you, base face. All right, he was the middle child. His parents divorced in 1957, moved in with his mother and 2 sisters. Difficult relationship because his mother was alcoholic.
Sergeant.
All right. She was very critical. His mother was very critical of him, and he blamed her for all of his problems, as one does. A second. I don't know why it took that long to figure that out. CAF issued boots. Yes. Were they? God, I hope so. It would have been hilarious. All right, when he was 10 years old, she forced him to live in the basement away from his sisters, whom she feared he might harm in some way. Shocking. Signs of trouble began to emerge early. Kemper had a dark fantasy life, sometimes dreaming about killing his mother, which... Oh, this is this guy. Okay. He cut off the heads of his sister's dolls and even coerced the girls into playing a game he called Gas Chamber. Gas Chamber, folks. In which he had them blindfold him and lead him to a chair where he pretended to writhe in agony until he died. Normal kid stuff. His first victims were the family cats. At 10, he buried one of them alive, and the second, 13-year-old Kemper, slaughtered with a knife. He went to live with his father for a time, but ended back with his mother, who decided to send the troubled teenager to live with his paternal grandparents in North Fork, California. Yeah, sorry about the kid. Sorry. All right, so Kemper hated living on his grandparents' farm. Before going to North Fork, he had already begun learning about firearms. But his grandparents took away his rifle. Why? After he killed several birds and other small animals. On August 27, 1964, Kemper finally turned his building rage on his grandparents. The 15-year-old shot his grandmother in the kitchen after an argument, and when his grandfather returned home, Kemper went outside and shot him by his car and then hid the body. Afterwards, his mother, who told him to call the police and tell them what happened. Afterwards, he called his mother, who told him to call the police and tell them what happened. Ugh. There you go. Good to see you. Yes, real stories. Yes. Later, Kemper would say that he shot his grandmother to see what it felt like. He added that he had killed his grandfather so that the man wouldn't have to find out that his wife had been murdered. For his crimes, Kemper was handed over to the California Youth Authority. He underwent a variety of tests which determined that he had a very high IQ, but also suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. Kemper was eventually sent to Atascadero State Hospital, a maximum security facility for mentally ill convicts. Now, in 1969, Kemper was released at the age of 21. Helps when you kill people when you're a child. Don't kill people as a child, folks. Despite his or ever, if you can help it. Well, despite his prison doctor's recommendation that he does not live with his mother because of her past abuse and his psychological issues involving her, he rejoined her in Santa Cruz, California, where she had moved after ending her third marriage to take a job with the University of California. While there, Kemper attended community college for a time and worked a variety of jobs, eventually finding employment with the Department of Transportation in 1971. Now, Kemper had applied to become a state trooper, but he was rejected because of his size. Of course. Darn. He weighed around 300 pounds and was 6 feet 9 inches tall, which led to his nickname, Big Ed. Very imaginative. Very, very well done. However, he did hang around some of the Santa Cruz police officers. One gave him a training school badge and handcuffs, while another let him borrow a gun. What on earth? No. Kemper even had a car that resembled a police cruiser. Hello, Jeremy DeWitt. This could have been you. The same year he began working for the highway department, Kemper was hit by a car while out on his motorcycle. His arm was badly injured, and he received a $15,000 settlement in the civil suit against the car's driver. Unable to work, Kemper turned his mind towards other pursuits. He noticed a large number of young women hitchhiking in the area. In his new car, he bought with some of his settlement money, Kemper began storing the tools he thought he might need to fulfill his murderous desires, including a gun, a knife, and handcuffs. And then he started killing, and got himself the nickname the Co-Ed Killer. At first, Kemper picked up female hitchhikers and let them go. However, when he offered a ride to two Fresno State students, Marianne Pesky and Anita Lucchesa, they would never make it to their destination. Their families reported them missing soon thereafter, but nothing would be known of their fates until August 15th, when a female head was discovered in the woods near Santa Cruz and was later identified as Pesci. Lucchesa's remains, however, were never found. Kemper would later explain that he stabbed and strangled Pesci before stabbing Lucchesa as well. After the murders, he brought the bodies back to his apartment and removed their heads and hands. Kemper also reportedly engaged in sexual activities with their corpses. Why would he remove the head and hands? Probably make identification very difficult. That's my guess. But, yeah. Just how it happens. But anyway. Gotta get my drink in. Kemper, man. All right. Later that year, on September 14th, 1972, Kemper picked up 15-year-old Aiko Ku, who had decided to hitchhike rather than wait for the bus to take her to a dance class. She would meet the same fate as Pesci and Lucchesa. Someone's got a nice bass system in their car out there. In January 1973, Kemper continued to act on his murderous impulses, picking up hitchhikers. Excuse me. Cindy Shaw, whom he shot and killed. While his mother was out, Kemper went to her home and hid Shaw's body in his room. He dismembered her corpse there the following day and threw the parts into the ocean. Several parts were later discovered when they washed up on shore. He buried her head in his mother's backyard. This might have been the one where he buried the head to look up into his mother's room. There's one of them that did that. It might have been Kemper. Not really sure. But anyway. On February 5th, 1973, Kemper used a campus parking sticker his mother had given him to facilitate a double murder. He drove to the university where he offered a ride to two students, Rosalind Thorpe and Alice Liu. Shortly after picking them up, he shot the two young women, then drove past the campus security at the gates with the two mortally wounded women in his car. After the murders, Kemper decapitated his two victims and further dismembered the bodies, removed the bullets from their heads, and disposed of their parts in different locations. In March, some of Thorpe's and Liu's remains were discovered by hikers near Highway 1 in San Mateo County. At the time of Kemper's murders, the two other serial killers, John Lindley Frazier and Herbert Mullins, were also perpetrating their own crimes in the area, resulting in Santa Cruz receiving the ignominious nickname the murder capital of the world. Dun dun dun. In the press, that is. For Kemper's part, he was dubbed the Co-Ed Killer or the Co-Ed Butcher. In April 1973, Kemper committed what would be his last 2 murders. On Good Friday, he went to his mother's home where the two had an unpleasant exchange. Kemper attacked his mother after she went to sleep, first striking her in the head with a hammer and then cutting her throat with a knife. As he had with his other victims, he then decapitated her and cut off her hands, and then removed her larynx and put it down the garbage disposal. Oh, yeah, no, Kemper was super smart. Also insane. After hiding his mother's body parts, Kemper called his mother's friend, Sally Hallett, and invited her over to the house. I don't know why. Kemper strangled Hallett shortly after she arrived and hid her body in a closet. He fled the next day, driving east until he reached Pueblo, Colorado, where on April 23rd he made a call to the Santa Cruz police to confess his crimes. At first, they did not believe that the guy they knew as Big Ed was a killer, but during the subsequent interrogations, he would lead them to all the evidence they needed to prove that he was in fact the infamous Co-Ed Killer. And then he was charged with 8 counts of first-degree murder. He went on trial. He was found guilty. And then when he was asked by the judge what he thought his punishment should be, he said that he should be tortured to death. Oh. Apparently he's still serving. He got 8 concurrent life sentences. That's horrifying. Cool. All right, we want Ed Gein. Read it off of the Wikipedia page. Ooh, it's the ghost of Kermit. Oh, ghost. This green screen. Doesn't answer mail. Garbage. All right. Time for a little Kermit shenanigans. How you guys doing? You guys, remember, you bought this. You bought this experience. Ready, Kermit?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. There we go.
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sloshed. Not you, though.
I'm good.
I'm good, yeah, sure. Yeah.
You say so. Like, I'm bigger than you. You're small little front.
I know, but I mean, logically,
Don't worry about it.
alright. You know what I'm saying? Alright! Serial killers! Get your face out of there, Jesus.
Sorry.
Amateurs. Anyway. Kermit, is that you? Shut up, Miss Piggy. Where are you? Okay. Anyway.
I think Griff County should be worried that so many of you know about killers.
Oh, miss up all you weirdos. Alright, Robert Pickton. Remind me of Robert Pickton later. Well, remind him, because I'm not going to be talking about it. I'm talking about Ed Gein. Anyway. Alright, so Ed Gein was born in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. Blah. Alright, 1906. Alright, Augusta, his, mother hated her husband. Her husband was an alcoholic, so great family life. Great, good job, yeah. Well done. We should probably change the music. Probably a little more spooky.
Yes, good call.
I know. Let me think. No, not the, I mean, that's will probably work. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Let's see. Alright, didn't like some alcohol. Cool. Just reading it through. Let me just check the notes real quick. Let me just flip some pages there. Okay. Alright, outside of school, Gein spent most of his time doing chores on his farm. Now, Augusta was feverishly religious and a Lutheran. I guess that means anything to you. I don't know what a Lutheran difference is. That's fine. She preached to her boys about the immorality of the world, the evil of drinking, and her belief that all women, apart from herself, obviously, were naturally promiscuous instruments of the devil. And I can confirm that, actually. I can confirm that. I'm gonna use it. Anyway, let me get over the view. She reserved time every afternoon to read to them from the Bible, usually selecting verses from the Old Testament and the Book of Revelations concerning death, murder, and divine retribution. Some of you may recognize this as the most interesting part of the Bible, but it's not easy being keen. That's a solid joke. It's good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway. Alright, Gideon was shy. His classmates and teachers remembered him as having strange mannerisms. Real strange mannerisms. Such as seemingly random laughter, as if he were laughing at his own personal jokes. I can relate to that. To make matters worse, Augusta punished him whenever he tried to make friends. Despite his poor social development, Glenn did fairly well in school, particularly in reading. Reading is very important. Good for him. Not good. I mean, he's a murderer, so not that good. But anyway, I digress. All right, moving on. So on April 1st, 1940, Gideon's father, George, died of heart failure because of his alcoholism. And then Ed and his brother started doing odd jobs around town, blah, 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 blah. And saying this is interesting, I'm not really sure. There's just a lot of information to go over here. Something about burning away marsh vegetation on the property, the fire got out of control, and, his brother died in the fire. Oh! No. I'm actually going to read this one. 1944, Henry and Edward burning away marsh vegetation on the property. The fire got out of control, drawing the attention of the local fire department. By the end of the day, where were we? At the end of the day, the fire having been extinguished and the firefighters gone, had reported his brother missing. When lanterns and flashlights, a search party searched for Henry, whose dead body was found lying face down. Apparently, he had been dead for some time, and it appeared that the cause of death was heart failure, since he had not been burned or injured otherwise. A little suspicious. All right, loud music. Got it. Hold on. Let me fix that real quick. A little loud music. Music's always so loud. We can't hear Kermit doing some stupid stuff. Oh, that's too quiet. I don't like that. Give it 10%. It's fine. Hold on, guys. Yes. Back into. Anyway. Yeah. Too easy. Where was I? Okay. Now. Alright, Ed Gein here. Alright, so father died of alcoholism, a heart attack. Brother died of a heart attack. Sure he did. Alright, let's see. It was later reported by a biographer, Harold Schechter, that Henry had bruises on his head. Police dismissed the possibility of foul play in the and the county coroner later officially listed asphyxiation as the cause of death. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Keene and his mother were now alone. Augusta had a paralyzing stroke shortly after Henry's death. And Keene devoted himself to taking care of her. Sometime in 1941, Gein later recounted he and his mother visited a man named Smith, who lived nearby to purchase straw. According to Gein, Augustus witnessed Smith beating a dog. A woman inside the Smith home came outside and yelled for him to stop, but Smith beat the dog to death. Augusta was extremely upset by this scene. However, what bothered her did not appear to be the brutality towards the dog, but rather the presence of the woman. Wow. That's weird. Augusta told Ed that the woman was not married to Smith, so she had no business being there. Nosy lady. Get out of here, Karen. Smith's harlot, apparently, she was angrily called by Augusta. She had a second stroke soon after, and her health deteriorated rapidly, which is something that will happen after 2 strokes. It will happen. There's no question about it. Anyway, she died December 29th, 1945, at the age of 67. Now, Ed was devastated by her death. In the words of Arthur Harold Schechter, he had lost his only friend and one true love. Oh, Wisconsin, what are you doing? And he was absolutely alone in the world. So, Keane held onto the farm and earned money from odd jobs, as one does. He boarded up rooms used by his mother, including the upstairs, downstairs, parlor, and living room, leaving them untouched. While the rest of the house became increasingly squalid, these rooms remained pristine. Keane lived thereafter in a small room next to the kitchen. Around this time, he became interested in reading pulp magazines and adventure stories. Good for him, particularly those involving cannibalism and Nazi atrocities. Well, that's a kind of a pattern here, you know. Oof. Anyway, let's see. Keane was a handyman and received a farm subsidy from the federal government starting in 1951. Okay, that's pretty cool. He occasionally worked for the local municipal road crew and crop threshing crews in the area. Sometimes between 1946 and he also sold an 80-acre parcel of land that his brother Henry had owned. But anyway, John Kermit narrative on a horror movie. Oh, we could find an old horror movie that's not copywritten and do that sometime. I get in trouble from Disney. You know, we'll find out. Anyway. Moving on. Alright, so, let's go to crimes. Well, the best part. On the morning of November 16th, 1957, Plainfield hardware store Edward Bernice Warden disappeared. A Plainfield resident reported that the hardware store's truck had been driven out from the rear of the building around 9:30. The hardware store saw few customers the entire day. Some area residents believe this was because of deer hunting season. Bernice Warden's son, Deputy Sheriff Frank Warden, entered the store around 5 p.m. to find the store's cash register open and bloodstains on the floor. Are we talking about we're talking about the background noise. Yeah, it's my heating the house. Yeah. I have a new microphone I'm looking at that might cut that down. Might not, who knows? I don't know. House on Haunted Hill, classic. We talking the original with Mustache Guy? Yeah, thanks for helping me out. You know what I'm talking about. It was the voice in Thriller from the Thing. I can't remember. It's fine, doesn't matter. Anyway, but yeah, it's good. Oh yeah, if you haven't hit that like button, consider it. You know, more weirdness like this. Anyway, all right. So Frank Warden told investigators that on the evening before his mother's disappearance, Dean had been in the store, and that he was to have returned the next morning for a gallon of Vincent Price. Yes, thank you, Vincent Price. Yes, he was on my show actually. Vincent Price. I think he was on my holiday special. I assume it was a holiday special. I'm pretty sure he was a vampire in it. On that show. All right. The thing I was made famous on. All right, yeah, it's not a space heater. It's a just a general heater for the house. Not much I can do about it because winter. It's cold here. Anyway, that's the price. Just be great. All right, so where was I? Murder. Hey, don't look. I'm referring to early Kermit. Early Kermit sounds less ridiculous than late Kermit. Okay, get it. Anyway, all right. So a sales slip for a gallon of antifreeze was the last receipt written by Warden on the morning she disappeared. So they're like, oh, Ed Gein was probably here, and probably did it. On the evening of the same day, Gein was arrested. Where do you live? I live in Seattle. It's not that cold, but, I like to not be cold. That makes sense. Oh, yeah, see, the heat is stopped. Yeah, we're okay, we're good, we're fine. Alright, so the Waushara, that was a mouthful. Sheriff's Department searched the Gein farm, and they discovered Warden's decapitated body, and they shed on Gein's property, hung upside down by her legs, as you do. Hung upside down by her legs with a crossbar at her ankles and ropes at her wrist. The torso was dressed out like dressed out like a deer. her house. She had been shot with a .22 caliber rifle, and their mutilations, shockingly, not really surprised, were made after her death. So, when they searched the house, by the way, they found whole human bones and fragments, a wastebasket made of human skin. Okay. Waste not want none, I guess. Human skin covering several chair seats. Skulls on his bedposts. A good place for them, I guess. If you're going to have them somewhere. Bedposts. Female skulls, some of the tonsils off. Balls made from human skulls. Slurps of fur. A corset made from a female torso, skin from shoulder blades. That is disgusting. I mean, all of this is disgusting, but like, my God. Anyway, leggings made from human leg skin. See, that one I can get behind. That just makes, it's leggings made from legs and checks. I wouldn't wear them, but like, I understand. You know? We're getting there, Bon Jovi. We're getting there. But I appreciate, I appreciate that you know. But anyway, give me a second. There's I'm a frog and I like bugs, so there's one I'm gonna go get. Or somewhere, or my arm is not long. I don't know, long. It's just anyway. All right, we're back. Hey! Oh, it's too much fun. Here we go. Where was I? Drink. Anyway, here we go. Mask made from the skin of female heads. Mary Hogan's face mask in a paper. Face mask in a paper bag. Mary Hogan's skull in a box. Bernice Warden's entire head in a burlap sack. Bernice Warden's heart in a plastic bag in front of Gein's potbelly stove. 9 vulvae and a shoebox. A box in a box. That's a terrible. That's such a bad show. Kim, you know he's not actually deleting his own comments. I wonder where they're going. Anyway. Good times. A young girl's dress. Here we hold on. I think the chat got up to the box in a box. Oh, jeez. Oh, no, I'm so sorry. A belt made from female human nipples. 4 noses. I even have 1 nose. This guy's got 4. A pair of flips on a window shade drawstring. I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but on a window shade drawstring? Are you serious? Excuse me? And fingernails from female fingers. Oh, and a lampshade made from the skin of a human face. Of course, as, you know, the classic. We all know about that one. All right, it's a whole thing. Anyway, so these were photographed. And so Gein admitted to stealing from some cemeteries, but, he also killed some people. And he began to create a woman's suit shortly after his mother's death to literally become his mother and crawl into her skin, which is disgusting. He denied having sex with the bodies he exhumed because they smelled too bad. Gross. Anyway, during questioning, Washoe County Sheriff Art Schley reportedly assaulted Gein by banging his head and face into a brick wall. As a result, Gein's initial confession was ruled inadmissible. I'm not, super upset. I'm upset because, you don't do that because the evidence, but also I understand, Gross. Gein also had shrunken heads in the house, which he said were relics from the Philippines, but apparently these were determined to be human face skins, carefully peeled from corpses and used by Gein as masks. That's gross. So there's a trial. And, so his property was appraised at $4,700, about $42,000 today. And his possessions were scheduled to be auctioned amidst rumors that the house and the land it stood on might become a tourist attraction, and it certainly would be. But the house was destroyed by a fire March 20th. Sort of like the H.H. Holmes thing. So, interesting. It is possible that the fire was not considered a matter of urgency by Fire Chief Frank Warden, son of Bernice Warden, his last victim. When Gein learned of the incident while in detention, he shrugged and said, just as well. Okay, yeah, so... Yeah, he died in 1984. Souvenir seekers chipped pieces from his gravestone at the Plainfield Cemetery. The stone itself was stolen in 2001. Oh, near Seattle, Washington. Oh, it's recovered near Seattle, Washington. Okay, weird. So it's now unmarked, but not unknown. Got it, okay. I want to say he was the inspiration for Texas Chainsaw. Yeah, okay, yeah. So he was the inspiration for Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs. Dr. Oliver Thredson in American Horror Story Asylum. Let's see. He is... I guess he's the guy in Psycho. Oh, that's interesting. Or he's loosely represented in Psycho, you know. Film Deranged, In Light of the Moon, and Gein the Butcher of Plainfield, and Gein the Musical, and Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses, and The Devil's Rejects. Oh, interesting. He's all over the place, isn't he? Interesting. Wow. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go back down now.
Yes, I have the belt of human nipples. Pictures still exist that the police took, but like, they're horrifying. I'm not showing them on the stream. You can look them up yourself. Well, it's been 2 hours though. I might have to end it here. What's our count at? We're at like 220-ish, right? Nipples. $217.95. Oh, we're kind of close. But anyway. Sorry, some people are don't understand this is a stream about serial killers, so it has to be addressed. I'm not saying it. Hello, baby. We need to get the tuba. All right. Next stream. I kind of want the tuba. Next stream, 150. We get a tuba. We need another Kermit sound. Do it, John.
John, will you draw me... Oh, excuse me, my heart, my hand. Will you draw me playing a tuba? Murder, 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 murder. Murder, 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 murder. Murder. Murder.
Arsenic and Old Lace is such a good movie. Making a ringtone available. Oh, anyway, you guys have been delightful. I love these chill little streams. I really do. Oh, Kermit had a party trick he wanted to show you. And I completely forgot about it.
All right, party trick. I'm just... Are you ready? Yeah, it's pretty cool, right? All right, I'm done.
Anyway. If you hit 300 now, it still counts. Oh, I only had a brain. All right, let me get the lyrics up. All right. All right, Kermit, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let me get you. All right.
I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts are busy hatching. If I only had a brain, I'd unravel every riddle for every... That's not for my... No, lyrics are wrong. In trouble or in pain. Boop, beep, 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 boop. With the thought, you'll be thinking you could be another Lincoln if you only had a brain. Oh, I can tell you why. The ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thunk before. And then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a muffin, my hand all full of snuffin', my heart all full of pain. And perhaps I deserve you and be even worthy of you if I even had only had a brain. I almost made it. I almost got it. Next time, maybe. I'm gonna go now.
Cameo, thank you. Kermit singing. Thank you. Cameo says, my mom is donating $5 because of Kermit singing. She says she loves him and wants to hug him. I'm affected by my drinking. Anyway. All right. Next stream. We're dropping to 150 because you guys have been very, 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 very generous. So we're still going to make it a possibility because I really want to kind of run to Tuba. Yeah. Maybe we'll do another stream soon-ish. But hey, you guys have all been great. Thank you so much. We'll do this again for sure. 100%. So until the next time, ladies and gentlemen, be good, stay safe.